I sat down with Josh from Collectors Gone Digital to discuss his first impressions of the VeVeVerse, the opportunities he sees, and what fascinates him about building in the VeVeVerse.
Josh, great to have you here. Welcome on the channel and thanks for your time.
Thanks for having me, man. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's such a pleasure. I mean, I see so much of your content right now on X with all the VeVeVerse tutorials. And before the stream, you told me that you're currently working on building out live streaming on X and YouTube. That sounds fantastic. But let us first start in, have you ever been a collector, or did VeVe made you a collector like in my case?
VeVe made me realize that I'd always been a collector. I never kind of realized it before VeVe, but if I think all the way back to growing up as a kid, I went to the Disney parks. I'd run around trying to collect all the pins from all the characters. I was collecting coins as a kid. I got, the books filled where you can kind of fill in everything. So started there. And then when it comes to gaming, making sure I got all the achievements in the game, the skins for the character and the weapons and that type of stuff. So yeah, I've been collecting always. Just VeVe kind of made me realize that I've been one all along.
Yeah. So, okay. Yeah. So you're collecting, for example, guns in Call of Duty or so, or what do you mean, collecting in game?
Yeah, so Call of Duty is a great example. Higher level you get to, more camos you unlock, and then the challenges that you complete, then you can get to the rare camos, like the olive gold camos and the diamond camos and that type of stuff, right? Which is just like a flex in game, because you actually see somebody running around with one of those camos, you're like, I want it.
But they are really valuable, some of them, right? I mean, I've seen some collections worth a couple thousand and more.
Yeah, if you get to games like CSGO, where there's an actual marketplace of people buying and selling the skins, then yeah. There's been people who have actually bought houses from just buying, flipping.
Flipping guns.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so sick. And I mean, in terms of our conversation about VeVe and the VeVeVerse, I mean, the same will probably happen in the VeVeVerse if enough users onboard onto the Metaverse, right? So that there is a digital exchange of value through the NFT technology, obviously, but through maybe some mini games where you can collect in the different worlds or so.
Yeah, I think the first opportunity is going to be building. I'm already having some people reach out and asking for custom builds, but on two different sides. So a home space for their collectibles. And I'm also having content creators reach out and say, hey, I want to build this space for, a content idea that I have. So,
okay.
Yeah, so it's cool to see that unfolding.
Yeah, definitely. But that was a question I wanted to ask later. So you obviously feel that the building of spaces and showrooms and so is kind of becoming a real job, right? Because I guess in some cases, if it's a good friends of yours or so, you will say, okay, I built this real quick, but if you want to build or if someone have made a custom build, I mean, that's a couple of hours, I guess, or days.
Oh, even more than that. So for me, I mean, I can only speak about me, but my services will be several weeks for a build. So it's very detailed, very complex.
Yeah.
But yeah. Sorry, I was going to say something else there, but it skipped my mind. Yeah. It's several weeks. So
yeah. That's such a cool opportunity, right? I mean, shifting the world into the metaverse sphere.
Yeah, and actually, I was going to say, so you have other platforms like VR Chat, right? And Roblox and Fortnite's a fantastic example too. All of these platforms pay out the creators based off of active users, right? So how many people are in the maps per month or week or whatever the time period is. And I think that we're moving in that exact same direction with the VeVeVerse.
Yeah, I can see that too.
Yeah. And people, like you said, are going to create full-time jobs around it. They're going to create, they're going to create names for themselves, right? Creators, there's going to be certain creators in the community that are known for their builds, and they go and release a new map. And then all of a sudden there's people posting on social media being, hey, so-and-so released their new map. Let's go check it out. Right.
Yeah. So cool. So cool.
Yeah.
And was it always, first of all, when did you discover VeVe?
I found out about VeVe during all of the hype around Omi in the
so 2021.
Yeah, 2021, it was February, March around there is when I found out about the token. And then I downloaded the app right away, but I didn't get like involved with buying collectibles until like a couple months after that. It was like April, May.
It was like the exact same situation for me. In April, I downloaded, but then I first bought Omi, and I saw like the first drops taught in the marketplace, and I didn't buy it. But I mean, it's fine. We're still extremely early, I think.
Really?
So yeah, that's fine. In terms of like your personal collecting behavior, you already mentioned, you collected coins and all that stuff. But do you still collect physically or just digitally now?
So I don't collect pins or coins or anything like that as much anymore. I don't really collect coins at all. VeVe started to get me more into pins again. But my first in real life event over in Vegas has now started getting me back into physical collecting. So I mean, I picked up a couple of arcades pieces while I was there. I had the London Police print that I picked up, a couple of Bear bricks, and then like comics I'm starting to buy more of now. So I definitely say that I've always had that collecting mentality. VeVe made me realize I was a collector.
Yeah.
And then on the digital side though, and now I'm getting more involved on the physical side, which is awesome.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, that's obviously VeVe's superpower. I mean, nearly everybody I've talked to became a physical collector, or like the physical collecting hobby got a new spark, if you can say it like that.
Yeah.
So that's so amazing. So you do a lot of tutorials right now, and you've been a beta tester since?
I've been a beta. I got let into the beta about 2.5 weeks before launch. So I wasn't a beta tester for long.
Okay, yeah. Okay, no. That's not that long ago. No. And then you just jumped right in there and started playing around and trying things out.
Yes, sir.
Do you found it difficult at the beginning, or did you have like always a creative like mind and some personal capabilities to create like digitally, if you know what I mean with the question?
I've been a map builder in different platforms for like several years now.
Okay.
Yeah, Minecraft, all the way back to like the Zoo Tycoons on PC and Roller Coaster Tycoons and stuff. I made a bit of a name for myself in the Halo Reach community back when, but I didn't create content around the maps at all. It was just kind of more invite my friends to the maps and play them. So I gained experience that way. And then I've been learning a little bit more of like the Blenders and Unreal Engines and Unities and stuff like that. Some through my content with VeVe actually. And then a lot of the settings, I shouldn't say a lot, but some of the settings in those platforms are transferable to the VeVeVerse. I mean, Unity is the underlying tech, right? So the arrows to like move shapes up and down and rotate and scale, it's all the same stuff in Unity. So it's just, I recognized it right away and picked it up like that. So
yeah. But my first impression, that was a video you posted on X that was like, I don't know, you showed something like building a lamp or so. And
building different lights, yeah,
exactly. Yeah. And my first thought was like, okay, that's neat. It needs a little bit of practice because it looked like Sims on steroids.
Yeah.
So
yeah. But you know what? I'm glad you mentioned that, because that's where those services that we were talking about, where people will hire other people to build out custom spaces. It's like somebody will hire me because either I have the skill set that they don't, or I have the time that they don't. Right. Yeah. So if I know how to build a light and that person either doesn't, or they just don't want to spend the time doing it, then I'm over here. Right. So, yeah.
So everybody go to Josh Collectors Gone Digital if you want a custom built showroom. Was it like, is it now the first time that you have offers like this? Because you told earlier you've been in was it Halo?
Halo Reach was the bigger one, yeah.
Yeah, and then there you built maps, right?
Yeah.
Did you already earn money with those maps, or was it just for fun at this stage?
It was just for fun. I've always been a big Halo fan. They introduced, Forge mode, which was the creator mode in Halo. That was introduced in Halo 3, the game right before, but it was like a really big step up when they released Halo Reach. So that's when I just started messing around with it. But I was also a little too young at the time to have that mentality of, hey, I can do something with this and I can charge money and stuff. So, yeah, no, I didn't make any money, but I do got to say, I've had several community members that I've been talking to for like several months now, just preparing for the VeVeVerse. And they've, been showing a ton of support and trust in me from the beginning. So I mean, it's just started. I'm in.
Yeah, okay, that's so cool now. So it's like kind of a really, really new and interesting job opportunity for you with the release. Okay, that's so cool, man.
Yeah.
Honestly, really nice.
It's a niche. It's a niche, right? Because the two main parts of the VeVeVerse right now are the building component and the social component, right? And if I look at both of them, I'd probably say there's more offered on the building side right now than there is the social side.
Yeah.
There's some social tools, right? And there's going to be more. It's just there's more building, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, I can't wait. It's awesome.
Yeah. And I mean, you have some credibility already because like all the tutorials and like the builds we've seen from you, I mean, they look great. And I don't think that I could do that. Or maybe if I'm like giving this a lot of time, but I definitely understand why people like with absolutely massive collections, mutual friend of us, Felix from Germany. I mean, he has such a big collection. How will he build like the showroom on his own? I know he's really busy with his work, so he will definitely not have the time to do that.
Well, using a spoiler, Felix was one of the first people to reach out to me, so I am going to be working with him on his space.
Yeah. I mean, that's so cool. And you can like, if the showroom's ready, then it will be such a nice like check out of the whole showroom and of the whole space. And I can't wait. I mean, you guys will probably do a live stream then, right?
Yeah, I mean, to showcase the final space. There's a couple of hurdles that I still need to get around before that happens, because right now, I can go into Felix's space and I can drop some shapes, but I can't actually drop any of his collectibles. So that is going to be a hurdle for a builder.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand why they don't have that feature, but
wasn't it? I think I saw the feature, or didn't I? If you can give people different roles.
Yeah, so there's 3 different roles. There's the master creator, there's the creator, and then there's the visitor. Mm-hmm. So if you give somebody visitor access, they can visit your space without moving anything or dropping anything, right? So it's just viewing it. If you give them creator access, it's limited access to being able to like move stuff around and I think mess with like some textures and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then the master creator access is only for people that were in the beta, but none of those will allow you to actually like drop collectibles, somebody else's collectibles, right? So if I have somebody like Felix who wants to, put 100, 150 collectibles in a space that I build for him, I need him to be there to drop the collectibles for me to move around, which is a little bit of a hurdle, right?
Yeah,
still possible, but it's going to take some time.
It's a little pain, but I think VeVe will fix that, don't you think? I mean, VeVe will probably get a lot of feedback from builders like you and from the community. So I guess this will be a feature maybe for the premium version.
Yeah, I think the route they'll probably go, and this is just me, but I would think that if they're going to have a creator program, they would probably just have like certain people approved for the program, right? And then, they might have some extra features and stuff like that. But it's the same as like VR chat. All those map creators need to get their maps approved before they publish them. So it's the same thing as me going to VeVe and saying, hey, can you give me approval for this? So
yeah, I mean, obviously VeVe has to have like a little control over the building. Just imagine something that isn't appropriate, like a giant dick or so. I mean,
exactly.
That wouldn't be in VeVe's interest, right?
No, they're the licensors.
Yeah, maybe even more not in the interest of the licensors, but yeah, I totally get that. Yeah. So we just dove right into the topic, but what I wanted to ask you was like, what is the VeVeVerse in your opinion?
Right now, I look at it as it feels like a design tool with some social features. So I was saying that one of the more positive things I noticed right off the bat was when you go in, if you're somebody who doesn't have like a ton of experience, right? It's not too many features to be overwhelmed with. Like there's 7 tools on the side max, but 3 for most people. But if you do have experience using the Blenders and the Unreal Engines and the Unities, it's also a familiar interface. Right? So you've seen some of this stuff before. So right now I see it as a design tool mainly. And then people can come in and kind of chat with you and give you some ideas on what you're building and stuff like that. If you're going to use it as a space where, I guess, kind of more like a VR chat where you're going to go in to socialize with a group of people, there are going to be limited ways to socialize with those people. So I think until the team introduces more ways to interact and socialize in the environments, it's mainly just going to be a building tool. And building, exploration, and then the two main sides where you have the people making their names for themselves, building certain things, and then you have the people visiting whatever has been built.
But VeVe always stated that the VeVeVerse is about community. So they will definitely, in my opinion, build in some more community features, right? If so, what is like your vision for the VeVeVerse? If you like try to think ahead 2, 3, 4 years, where do you get?
I'm spending more and more time in VR chat now, and I got to give a shout out to OBL for showing me that platform because it's super cool. I guess I'd probably lean into a little bit of what I was saying before, with just more interactive elements. If I'm a creator for VR chat, they have like pool tables that I can drop into a world, and then, me and some friends can shoot some pool while we're in VR, right? So more interactive elements like that. I also want to see a lot more we haven't seen any events ran by V inside the VeVeVerse yet. Nothing for like the launch of it, nothing on social media. So I would love to see some events hosted by by VeVe's actual team, whether it's stuff with artists, behind the scenes content, maybe premieres for big drops, right? There's a lot that they can do there. And then I also think...
Sorry to interrupt. Isn't it so that at the moment, just like 30, 35 people at the same time can enter one space?
So from my understanding, it's 30 for the free version. The premium version should allow you to get more people into a space.
Okay.
I'm not sure what the limit's going to be for that, but you should be able to get more. Yeah.
Is there any more information out regarding the paid version, or... No, right?
No, we don't know when it's coming, but I do think right now those who are in the beta have some of the premium features toggled on.
Okay.
But we don't have all of them. I think we're going to get like pre-built scenes and then more like textures and skyboxes and stuff like that to play with. So
yeah. And you have like an unlimited amount of showrooms you can build.
Yep.
And how is it going? Like, can you... Because I haven't had time visiting the VeVeVerse myself yet, because my father had his 67th birthday this weekend, so I was out of town. But I would jump in there the next couple of days. So the question would be, like, can you just go to a showroom and visit the showroom, or do you have to be invited?
So right now you have to be invited.
Okay.
When you log in, all the worlds that you'll see are either worlds that you've built yourself or you've been invited to. There's no way to currently like search for worlds, but what I would love from the team is either that or a friends list to see who's online, and then you can, request an invite or, join them or something like that. So
yeah, that sounds great. I mean, not that like everybody can spawn into your stream or showroom or whatever, right? In terms of like the future, are you planning on doing like, because my thought was, okay, you could like do mini games yourself in the VeVeVerse. Like, for example, I saw someone who made a chessboard or so. Have you experimented with that in your own showrooms?
Yes, I'm working on a few right now too.
Okay, tell me more about it, or is it a secret right now?
I'll tell you one. So I had the idea of doing a maze, but you have different teams. So let's say teams of 2, and then one person's in the maze looking at it from a 3D perspective, right? Yeah. And then the teammate is above the maze looking at it from a 2D perspective. Okay. And you walk them through. But instead of you just flying around, and right now only the premium version has this, but there's a view called Top View, where you can view the entire map from the top down. So it's like a tabletop game.
Yeah.
So you can do that with a maze, but then you can also create another game where it's kind of like Super Mario Brother, but from like top down. So you create walls and then you can walk with your character across the map, like, and the map just keeps going. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you can create like little obstacles with the pulse feature where walls are moving back and forth and you gotta like, move around, but you're all looking at it from a top down perspective.
Yeah. Okay. I got it. So you're down in the trenches, right? And building and trying out stuff so that you're like ready when like probably the masses come, right? Because at the moment, I would say there are a couple hundred VeVeVerse users, maybe. But I guess when like the VeVe gets like even more popular and the NFT bull run comes back and Metaverse gets its hype again, then probably a lot of eyes will go to VeVe and obviously then to the VeVeVerse. And you want to be set up, is my guess, right?
Yeah. Well, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So yeah, I've been trying to prep for a while.
Would you say that like every VeVe content creator should have like a VeVeVerse plan in the back of his or her mind?
I think it really just depends on where that creator wants to take their stuff. But I just think with where the world's going right now, the whole digital element, it's a great way to extend your brand, right? Extend your reach. Like right before this call, I was just in that space that Preda, VeVe France had shown, the big cathedral, right?
Mm-hmm.
She's
I haven't seen it, I think.
You have to check it out. But she's over in France and I'm in Canada. It's a 6-hour difference, right? Yeah. And we're talking about her space that she just designed via the VeVeVerse. So, and without that tool, we wouldn't have been doing that. So.
Yeah, I have seen it, like the big church.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So I was just in that space, right? And for Preda, if you guys don't know, she runs the VeVe France YouTube channel. They're the most consistent creators in the entire community. But for a lot of people, they actually just started hearing her name because of that cathedral, right? So it's an extension of her brand, right?
Yeah,
she's getting her name out there more and more. And you're starting to see that with other people in the community as well, where, and I think Tails just mentioned this yesterday, you're seeing names that we've never seen before posting content from inside the VeVeVerse, right? Which is awesome. It's awesome.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's also seeing content from people who thought they weren't going to spend time in there. And like a close friend of mine, Sven, is one of those people. He said that he didn't really think he was going to be spending time. And before I read V yesterday, what is space building, right? He said it's addicting.
He's now.
Exactly, right? Yeah, that's what building does. You start and the time just starts going by.
Yeah, I think even if you have like some kind of creative bone inside of you, that could be really addicting, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
On what PC do you stream the VeVeVerse? Because I only have a laptop and I'm not quite sure if it will work.
So I bought a new PC for the VeVeVerse.
Okay.
Yeah. So until recently, it's like pretty much top of the line. I have a 4070 Super, so it's up there. Yeah.
Okay. So even more preparing for building for other people.
Yeah, I got the system solely for the VeVeVerse. So, and it's also helped with my other work, but yeah, that was the main reason why.
Yeah. Where does your creativity come from? Because like you mentioned, you needed it for the other work of yours. So you told us you built maps in Halo, etc. But is your real life job a creative job?
Yeah. So I do social media for construction companies. So it's all creative stuff, graphic design, blog writing, website creation. I do it all. So that's where all that comes from.
That explains like the capabilities of building such great spaces. And so
thank you.
On what kind of spaces besides those games are you currently working, or do you work on a space where like, okay, this will be an absolute banger and I will like spend so much time perfecting this space?
I typically hyper focus. Yeah. So when I start a space, I pretty much just focus on that one. Right now, I do have a bit of an exception to that because I am building 2 worlds at once. So I have the one that I'm building on stream, and then I have the one that I'm building just off stream, like for myself. But then, I'll leave it at that. There is a third space, but I won't mention that yet.
Okay, yeah, no worries, no worries. I mean, the VeVe fam will see it if it's ready, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. Really, really nice. I wanted to ask you about your collecting habits on VeVe. Is there like a particular brand, a particular fandom, or do you only collect comics, or do you collect like everything you like?
So I'm definitely bigger on the collectible side than the comic side. I don't get me wrong. I appreciate the art. I just, something draws me more to the collectibles. So I absolutely love the Disney pieces. Steamboat Willie is one of my favorite ones on the platform, but I'm also a big fan of the concept art. Mm-hmm. So the Finding Nemo series, the, I was going to say Lightning McQueen, but the Cars series, the Frozen concept art, all of that stuff I love. And then also the Disney Park resort posters from way back in the day. Love that stuff as well. So I definitely lean a little bit more to the collectible side, but on the collectible side, I lean more towards the artwork.
Yeah. Okay.
So
is there a specific reason behind that in terms of you can do like better displays in the VeVeVerse with these art pieces, or is it just a personal preference?
I think David actually was the one who said it. It's just you'll find that when you start building out spaces, and especially from scratch, which is what I typically do, you just have a ton of wall space. So you got to fill the wall space up, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's the main reason. Outside of artwork, though, I do also like the vehicles. So like the Lambos and Aston Martin and all that. So
yeah. Before like the first VeVeVerse beta tester videos came out, and now that the VeVeVerse is like actually released, and so many people show like such great artistic and beautiful looking collections, I was like really hyped when I saw it the first time, because we like everybody just saw the collectibles in the app and they look so much better in the VeVeVerse. I think like the sparkling of the golden moments. Yeah. What is your opinion on like the quality of the collectibles?
The quality looks really cool. What I also like though is that you can alter certain collectibles too. Like the I always forget the name of it. It's the head collectible, the decon piece, the blue one, where when you look at it from a different angle, you gotta look at it right on in order to see the head.
Looking. Yeah.
If you put on certain lights, it completely changes color. So you can have a blue one, you can have a red one, a yellow one, an orange one, right? And you find little quirks like that when you're messing around with your collectibles.
Yeah.
You mentioned one as well with the golden moments like shining like that. That's only going to happen under a certain light. So if you have like a very bright light over top, that's not going to happen. And then also if you have a light on top of them and then below them as well, you're going to get a different effect. So you can mess around in many different ways to get different outcomes.
So every showroom will look absolutely unique. I mean, there are presets, but in terms of lighting, in terms of positioning and all that, like every creator will have their specifically created showroom, right?
I was thinking about this the other day. What's insane is the amount of features on the platform from when you learn factorials in school, right? Like if you just count up the amount of settings in the platform, but then you also multiply those settings by the number of collectibles and things that you can apply those settings to. Yeah. And then apply factorial, right? Like, let's say that's 400. 400 times 399 times 398 times 397, all the way down to 1. That's the amount of possibilities and outcomes.
Unlimited possibilities.
It's insane. It's insane. So you will always see different stuff.
Yeah. That's so cool. I think it's such a big step for VeVe. I mean, we've waited like for 4 years, okay? But I think like my first impression was, okay, 4 years, we're fine for that. I mean, a lot of people will now say, VeVe scammed us, etc. But they delivered a couple years later, but with a product I would say looks really promising in the first place.
Yeah, I think we got to give a lot of credit to Ben, because I think we're only in the position we're in right now because he came in and kind of pushed things ahead a little bit. But to your comment about people, thinking that it's a scam and making comments like that, I don't think VeVe's ever going to escape that. I think those types of people are always going to be here, regardless of whatever they're doing or however well they're doing. So, but yeah, big shout out to Ben for that one. So.
Yeah, I think since he joined the company, there's good movement and good delivery time and like communication and all that. That looks really, really promising, I think. Mm-hmm. And I guess now that the VeVeVerse is out, in my opinion, they will test it a little bit, then improve it, because we have to think about it's VeVeVerse 1.0, right? So there will be a lot of applications and updates and all that. And I'm curious. Yeah.
I was just going to say, speaking of updates, I know I was only in the beta for about 2.5 weeks, but there was an update maybe every few days when I was in the beta. And then there was another one this morning. So right now the team does seem to be like releasing them consistently, which is awesome to see. So
yeah, absolutely. And I think like they do marketing right now, but I mean, I think they have like so much more potential for marketing when like the crypto bull run starts to like really, really keep going. And then I would love to see like sponsorships on like really big collector channels.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't really have anything to add there, but yeah, I do agree.
Yeah, no worries. No worries.
I do agree with that.
Yeah. So you said earlier that you're live streaming. Are you in like VeVe's creator program?
I'm not. They don't have one released yet, but I've sat down with their affiliate lead for their affiliate program. Yeah. I sat down and spoke with him. So I'm not entirely sure when that's going to be rolled out, but I am going to be in that. Yeah.
Is there an NDA on the creator program, what you've talked about, or could we talk about it a little?
There's not really much to talk about, to be honest. I never signed an NDA. But to be honest, I don't really want to step on anyone's toes. So
yeah, I got that.
Yeah, I'll keep that meeting private. But
yeah,
what I will say though is that they have some really good ideas, and they're trying to gamify the affiliate program, like multiple levels to it, which is good. So I'm excited to see what they end up doing with that.
So from what you've heard, it seems promising, and being able to like get creators and more creators into it, because it's like good reward for the work you do. Because
100%.
Because I mean, content creation, it's really time intense. You have to really say it like that. Because, for example, we've talked earlier, I released a video today, and like I'm learning right now, but I put so much time into this video. It's like 20 plus hours or so. Okay, I messed up here and there, but
it was good, dude. It was good. And your audio, that's the one thing I suck at. It was spot on. All the audio cues and everything, like the like when someone slides in, it disappears. Yeah. That's very important in video. I'm trying to get better at it, but you nailed it.
Oh, so. Thanks, man. Thanks for the feedback. I really appreciate that.
Of course.
Because I was just asking about the audio because I'm filming on my phone. Yeah, so I was not sure about the audio, but great.
No, it was fine.
Okay, yeah. Nice. While we are on the content creating topic, you've told me earlier that you haven't done content creation for so long. Am I right there?
I pretty much started it when I started this channel. Yeah. Aside from this.
When did you start the channel?
It was September of 2022, I want to say.
Yeah.
A few years.
Yeah, okay. And what I like in the last days, what I've seen from you, you're like so consistent. You are putting out so much content. I mean,
Thank you.
That's phenomenal, to be fair.
Thank you.
Yeah. Then in terms of the channel, what will you do with it? What is like do you have a plan or?
Yeah. So right now the main focus is going to be on the building side, but I don't want my entire channel to turn into that. So I will have a separate brand just for my building services called Elysian Designs. Haven't unveiled that yet, but okay. And then just the YouTube channel is going to focus on, it'll have like building time lapses, tips and tricks for the VeVeVerse, tutorials. I'm trying to sit down with a dev from Cavernous right now to go over some of the advanced stuff. And then building competitions is something I also want to get into. So just more social activities too. So competitions like that, maybe creating some games like I was mentioning before with the tabletop perspective, and then running multiple people through that, right? And creating like a little video that way. So yeah, there's multiple angles I can take from it for it, but it's all going to be VeVeVerse related.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds good. Can't wait to see that. And in terms of like the maps you're building, is there like is it clear if you can like charge entry for the maps, or how does it normally work in like other metaverses like Roblox or so?
So in, let's say, VR chat, because that's what I'm hoping VeVeVerse turns into.
Yeah. Okay.
VR chat, you have the option of having VIP members. So you'll hop into some worlds where, let's say it's an apartment building. I can open certain doors, but then certain doors are locked for VIP members who are paying, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think VeVe could definitely go that route. I don't think they're there yet, but something like what I'm doing now, where I'm doing, it's not like through a feature that VeVe's introduced where I can charge people on the platform, but I'm sitting down, having meetings with people and then sending them invoices myself, right? So that for the building stuff. Charging entry, I can definitely see one day. I'm also thinking about like furniture shops, people creating models, maybe templates, things like that they can sell in a marketplace to other users who, again, don't have the time or the skills to do it themselves. Yeah, there's so much potential there. So,
okay.
Yeah,
that sounds really exciting. Really exciting. Can't wait for the next month and years, to be fair.
Yeah.
Is there something we haven't touched about on like your person or like the building and VeVeVerse stuff that you would like to talk about?
I think one thing I will say is that I do see some comments about how some people are overwhelmed by some of the features and things like that. My advice would just be to compartmentalize everything, like take it part by part. I use a lot of reference photos for my builds, so I'll be on my Pinterest or Google or architecture sites. But I'm typically looking at like final designs. And when you do that, there's a lot in the photo, so you can get overwhelmed very easily. So just break the photos down, again, part by part. Look at the staircase, look at the windows, look at the lighting, look at the floor, how it's all designed, and just build it part by part. So if you try to, I think I said it in a Web V space, just don't try and eat more than you can actually like handle, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, just to add that. But for anyone who feels overwhelmed, I mean, I feel like anybody who's even experienced is going to feel that way as well at some point. It's going to happen. Just, take it part by part and keep trucking through, and you'll eventually get to a point where it's all familiar and comfortable. So
is it like so that you yourself like discover like new features within the VeVeVerse, or is it like where there are situations where you like had like a light bulb moment and where like, oh yeah, I could do it like this?
Yeah, it happens all the time still now. And that's also the reason I have the call with the dev, is because I have questions about some of the advanced features and I want them to walk me through it to make sure that I properly understand and I'm not missing anything. So, but I'm coming across stuff right now. California Comics, Viva La Vivi, in one of my latest live streams. I put some trees down and I turned around. I was talking to somebody else in the space, and then I turned around and this guy's turned them all like matte black and he's textured them with like fire. I'm like, what is going on over here? And he was teaching me stuff, right? So you're figuring out new stuff all the time. But that brings me back to that point about the number of possible combinations. It's like, it's never ending. So you could be using this platform for a year and a half and you're still going to think of new things.
Sounds amazing. Josh, thanks for your time. Do you want to give yourself a shout out? Where can people find you and find your tutorials and stuff?
Yeah, appreciate it, man. You guys can find me on YouTube and on X. I'm going to be dropping more info about all my building services soon, but if you guys are interested in working together, you can just shoot me a DM over on X. They're open. And then, posting every Tuesday and Thursday episodes. And then in between that, live streams every once in a while. And we're right now building the space from scratch. So if you guys want to tune into that series, it's on YouTube and X as well.
Guys, definitely tune in. He does actually really, really good content and really entertaining and helpful for the builds. And you're like starting in the VeVeVerse, go and check out his tutorials. You will definitely not regret it. And Josh, Thank you so much for your time. It was a pleasure. I've definitely learned new things about the VeVeVerse and really appreciate your time. And thanks, man.
Of course, man. Thanks for having me. It was a blast.